All right, we finally know who the final 2 DLC characters are going to be in Jump Force. I say final 2, what I mean is the final 2 for this season pass. Of course, it's possible that we're going to get a season pass 3, but for now we can assume that this is it until they're ready to announce anything else. Maybe once we get the final patch with the final characters, maybe we'll see some data mine information that suggests that we're going to be getting a season 3. But for now, let's just assume that season 2 is it. Well, we know who it is now. This is thanks to the data mining work of Lean. If you followed any of my Jump Force coverage, you probably heard Lean 1,000 times. He's always the one to get on this data mine information. He's done some mod work in the past as well. Now, unlike with past data mine information, this one isn't like 100% certain because the conclusion that we're coming to comes from an extrapolation of information that isn't exactly, rock solid. So let's get into that information. Firstly, let's start off with the JoJo character. For JoJo characters, if I could just pick a JoJo character to show up in the game, it would have been Giorno. I've talked about that a bunch of times. Giorno is definitely my most requested character for JoJo's as a franchise. And thankfully, it turns out that Giorno's pretty much confirmed. Through checking some of the files, Lean noticed a file labeled tree. Specifically, tree was attached to one of the attack files for Giorno. And we know that that has to be the JoJo character. And if it's a JoJo character and it's got trees in it, it's probably Giorno. I know there's going to be a ton of fans out there that are fan of Josuke's that are going to be disappointed because obviously we got the big 2 part 3 representations, Jotaro and Dio, and then we got nothing for part 4, and then we got part 5 Giorno. But Giorno is significantly more popular, so it is what it is. Now for our second character, obviously it's going to be the Bleach character. Surprisingly enough, it turns out it might be Yoruichi. For a while now, we've had this rule with the avatar costumes that if you had an avatar costume, you probably weren't going to be DLC because the DLC characters came with some type of costume that related to their character, usually an exact copy of what they're wearing as their playable character. Now, we've had Yoruichi costumes in the game for a while now, so just like how we considered Noelle out of the picture, we considered Yoruichi out of the picture. What you're looking at right now is the skeleton for the character. So in video games, every model that you see has some type of skeleton, or every model that you see that moves has a skeleton. The game's information telling the game how the character needs to move. The skeleton is a bunch of bones that are essentially just joints to make the character move the way that you would expect a human to move, right? Obviously, they're a lot more simplified than the actual human skeleton. Basically, anything that's animated has these points so that the game knows how to move stuff. So that, of course, there would be things like bones for characters' hairs. So, for example, Goku actually has a bunch of bones in his model because you need to be able to move Goku's hair around a bunch. Anyway, the reason we think that this skeleton is Yoruichi is A, it has to be the Bleach character, B, the character has no sword, C, the character has 2 sets of hair bones, which means their hair either changes during some type of transformation or battle damage, which lines up with what Yoruichi does, and of course, Yoruichi is shorter than Ichigo, and this skeleton is shorter than Ichigo's skeleton. So all things seem to be pointing to Yoruichi, but it's not as cut and dry as the Giorno data mine is, like we talked about before. Though I would be very confident saying that Yoruichi is going to be the Bleach character now that we have this data mine information. And I'm more than happy to have Yoruichi. If I could just pick any Bleach character, it would probably be Yoruichi. Ishida would be a close run-up for me just because I like bow characters, but regardless, Yoruichi would be pretty high up there on my Bleach character request list. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed with these final 2 characters, especially because we knew they were going to be Bleach and JoJo characters. If this was like a surprise, maybe some people would be disappointed that, their series didn't make it. But Bandai Namco did the right thing. They revealed what series would be a part of the character pass. So I think that people are going to be incredibly satisfied with these last 2 characters, because if you're a Bleach fan, you probably really like Yoruichi, right? Yoruichi's a really cool Bleach character, so there's that. And if you're a JoJo fan, you probably like Giorno. You might be a bit disappointed that you didn't get somebody like Joseph or a Hamon user or somebody that you really, really like. But for the most part, I think we're all going to be pretty satisfied with Yoruichi and Giorno joining the Jump Force roster relatively soon. We don't have a date for those 2 characters yet, but we know that Meruem and Hiei are right around the corner, and based on the release schedule so far, Yoruichi and Giorno shouldn't be too far behind them. So let me know what you think of Yoruichi and Giorno making it into the roster. Again, this is not like a 100% confirmed thing, but the data mine information heavily suggests that it will be Giorno and, of course, Yoruichi. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Bilbsy, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next video.